Welcome to the Right Hand Roadmap, the podcast for seconds in command of founder-led companies. I'm your host, Megan Long, owner of Second First. In each episode, we show you the path to success on your journey as the number 2 leader in entrepreneurial companies. I am so glad you are here. In today's episode, we're talking about how, as an operations executive, you may find it challenging to understand or relate to the constant stream of unfiltered ideas generated by a visionary CEO. Entrepreneurs generate many ideas daily that usually are not fleshed out. Here's the really important mindset to adopt before we go any further. We received some feedback on episode 2. You can go to secondfirst.com/2 to listen. But a listener said, I hear what you're saying, but this seems narcissistic. Meaning that our teachings are feeding into this idea of a self-centered CEO focused on their own needs at the expense of others, including their second in command. So I want to clarify that all of these teachings, tools, and tips for COOs and seconds in command are not for you just to submit to whatever your CEO asks for or wants. Your unique ability is to take their vision or goal and build a strategic plan to achieve it. That's insane. I need you to understand how rare and incredible it is for you to see the high-level big picture, understand it, and then dive down into the daily operations to know what needs to happen today in order to achieve it. It's ridiculous, and so few people are able to do that. There is no entrepreneur out there that is able to achieve more without you than with you. So when I'm pulling from our framework and giving you advice or tools, it's not just to be subservient to your founder, it's to better understand them and meet them where they are so you can continue to be a force multiplier in the business. So yes, the entrepreneur generates many ideas that aren't fleshed out, but that's one of their superpowers. Without their ideas, there would be nothing for you to create a strategic plan off of. There would be no innovation or risk-taking. So no one is right or wrong in either of your roles. You're just very different and have very unique sets of skills and strengths that complement each other perfectly. But when we talk about these ideas that your founder has, they can create what we call organizational whiplash. There are too many ideas and no momentum or traction on any of them. So your team might feel like the company is changing direction each week and begin to lose faith in the strategic vision. Worst case, you might see higher turnover as employees start to lose patience and having to scrap their work over and over. As a second in command, you might also feel budget constraints trying to execute a vision that's constantly changing. So to recap the symptoms, the CEO creates organizational whiplash. It feels like every day has a new initiative and direction. The team struggles to understand what priorities are, and projects are left unfinished, abandoned, and entropy grows. To prevent this, you have to be the one to say no, right? Well, here's what founders hate: being told reasons why their idea won't work, having someone poke holes in their vision. You might 100% know something will not work, but this has to be collaborative with your CEO. At Second First, we teach COOs to act as an idea manager. As I mentioned, entrepreneurs do have great ideas, but don't have the same level of visibility as you on how they affect the organization as a whole. There are 2 tools we teach to help act as an idea manager and prioritize initiatives and ideas. I promise your CEO will appreciate the collaborative decision-making as to whether they pursue something or set it aside versus you just telling them no. The first tool is the 0 to 10 principle. To my knowledge, this was originally described in the book The Founder and the Force Multiplier. The general concept is that the CEO has an idea that's a 1 or a 2 in terms of how developed and fleshed out it is. As the second in command, you take the idea from 1 to a 2, all the way to a 9. So this can mean putting together a budget, assigning resources, putting together the timeline, etc. Once it's almost complete, you bring it back to the CEO for final finessing to make it a 10. This allows your visionary entrepreneur to see themselves in the work, and you're able to do what you do best, which is putting together the operational plan. The second tool is the Priority Prism. Why a prism? Because when white light enters a prism, it is refracted into separate, orderly colors. You are the prism for your CEO. The entrepreneur's ideas are that pure white light that you refract into an orderly plan. If you're multitasking, stop really quickly and grab a pen or pull out your notes app. A simple way of creating a priority prism is to assign numeric values 1 through 10 to each of these 4 criteria: urgency, importance, impact, and effort. 1 is low and 10 is high, but reverse these for effort, since low effort is preferable. So 10 is low effort, 1 is high effort. Ranking these ideas by total for each of the 4 helps clarify what should take priority. Okay, so this is kind of difficult to explain just on audio, so let's do a quick example together. Let's say your entrepreneur has 2 main ideas for the upcoming year. Number 1 is open a second location, and number 2 is implement late fees for your customers that are slow to pay. So for opening a second location, urgency would be like a 2. Importance, 7. Impact. So importance and impact are different. Something can be important without having an impact on your business. Like filing your taxes is important, but doesn't have an impact. So for opening a second location, you're expanding into a new market. So impact would be an 8. Effort, remember we invert the scale for effort. So 10 is low effort, 1 is high effort. Opening a new office would definitely be a 1, very high effort. So the total for these 4 criteria is 18. Now let's do the same thing for implementing late fees. Urgency. In this fake scenario, you have a lot of clients that are late to pay, so urgency is a 7. Importance, 7. Impact, like a 6. Effort, 9, not very hard to do at all. So the total would be 29. So based on the priority prism, the priority should be late fees because the total of the score is higher. We'll put a link to a template for this. It'll be like an Excel template in with the show notes so you can download the tool itself, just because, again, it's a little difficult to go through this when it's audio only. This is a really helpful exercise to do with your CEO before quarterly or annual planning as well, so that you guys can align on what your objective priorities should be for the upcoming quarter. I hope this episode has been helpful to better understand how to approach your CEO when it comes to their many ideas and how to arrive at a no together without creating friction. You can find links to anything mentioned in this episode if you go to secondfirst.com/4. Be sure to subscribe to catch future episodes and leave us a review on whatever platform you listen on. And remember, you don't have to navigate being a second in command alone when you have the right-hand roadmap.